Okay, so there are benefits and consequences to challenging social order. It's either it'll just backfire right in your face like Mayella, or it can just go really well like Atticus. And in Atticus's case, he defended Tom Robinson against a jury and a courtroom full of basically white oppressors of black people, and it went very well for him, even though he lost the case. And okay, on the other hand, inside of Mayella Ewell's case, um, it totally backfired on her, and because she challenged the social order of that black people were below white people, and he started beating Mayella because basically she questioned social order. And there are many examples of this, exactly like Nelson Mandela, Martin Luther King Jr., and Rosa Parks. All three of them were basically, they challenged social order, and they they benefited and they took their consequences for it.
Okay, I changed the question to why is it an individual's responsibility to fight for social justice and change? And it's kind of like, it's gonna be different for like every single person, but most people have good morals and good values, and like, say if somebody was bullying somebody, like that's not like fair, and you would stand up for them because that's the right thing to do. So Atticus was kind of like, even though he didn't have to defend Tom Robinson, he wanted to, because he said that if he didn't, he wouldn't be able to look his children in the eye, and he wouldn't be able to talk to them, and he wouldn't be able to hold his head up in town and act the same way that he does outside of his house as he does inside of it. And I think it's more of how, it's more of like standing up for social justice is more for yourself. It like does something for yourself. It, like, if you don't stand up for it, you get guilty, and if you do, it's like there's like an unexpected relief off of your shoulders. And it's kind of, it feels like it's common sense, but I know a lot of people don't have common sense, so.
Okay. Labeling and stereotyping can influence how we look and understand the world, because usually people always assume the negative, and making false judgments about people that you don't know could like ruin a possible future relationship with that person, or ruin their relationships with others by spreading rumors that probably aren't true. Stereotyping is usually very pessimistic and will ruin your ability to see people for who they really are. And because we are humans, it's so easy to judge people right off the bat just by like how they look, or what kind of family they could come from, or how their like body language is towards others. But it's really important to like tell ourselves not to do that, because everyone's different, and just because that you don't see someone as your idea of normal doesn't like mean that they aren't. For instance, in To Kill a Mockingbird, many people labeled Atticus for sticking up for Tom Robinson when really he was just doing the right thing. And specifically, Mrs. Dubose was a really judgmental person, which made her bitter and always angry at people. By stereotyping, it could make you always look at the negative side of things.
Okay, so I feel like that Scout did mature and grow throughout the book. Such as like when she learns like to look through someone else's perspective to like before judging them. Like she learns that like towards the end. You could tell she learned it when she's on the Boo's porch and like looking at the neighborhood, like looking at as if she was him, like understanding him through that. And she learns it from Atticus, like keep telling her over and over throughout the story that you can't judge someone unless you look through their perspective first. Also, she learns a lot about the whole like mockingbird thing, like how you shouldn't kill it since it doesn't do anything to you, like doesn't harm you or anything, because like she learns this through Atticus's actions towards the end when he decides to agree with Heck Tate that Bob Ewell killed himself instead of Boo killing him, because Boo does not like that social attention, and he sees that and he doesn't want to put Boo through that. And also, the second question is, was Atticus successful through like changing, like, was he successful in changing others? And I believe he was, because he was able to, although he didn't change a lot of people, he was able to change a few people, such as like the Hunninghams, because they were the only people in the jury.
One person that Atticus was able to change were the Cunninghams, because they were the only Mr. Cunningham, who was on the jury. He was the only one who tried Tom Robinson as innocent through his actions, like when the whole mob was coming to kill Tom Robinson in his cell. And Atticus was also able to change Jem and Scout on their beliefs of like racism through him like going through all this to help Tom Robinson.
Atticus Finch is considered one of the greatest characters in American literature because he stands up for what he believes in, and he fights for justice, and he knew that he would lose the case with Tom Robinson, but he still continued to, be the lawyer for Tom, because he knew he was doing what was right and that Tom was innocent. And he stood up for what he believed in, and he did the right thing by Atticus. He knew that he would lose against Bob Illo, but he still did, he was still on Tom's side because he knew that Tom was innocent and he never harmed the girl. But also when Bob attacked his kids and he thought that Jem killed him, he wanted to put Jem on trial because he knew that that was the right thing, but Hecate told him that Bob fell on his knife and killed himself, so he didn't put Jem to trial.